Hello, my name is Cody Colleen. I did my civic engagement project on sleep and heavenly peace. It's a small group I'm going to give you guys a little bit more information about. I'm doing this for my UF 300 course for Dr. Vermette. This was a really good project for me that I really enjoyed doing. And just a little bit of background. Um, I started my life off in a very poor home. My father was a just a parts guy at a dealership in Jerome, Idaho. We didn't have enough money for anywhere to live, so the owner of the dealership actually allowed our family to live in his old small farmhouse. So I lived there for the first probably 5 years of my life, and I didn't really have a bed. We shared a room between three children. Um, and actually, in Jerome, Idaho, my father passed away, and a couple of years after that, my mom started attending college, which allowed her to later become a physical therapist and provide us with a little bit better of a life. But this project spoke pretty closely to me because of my early childhood. So the founders, they were able to start this by finding that there was actually a gap as far as any kind of charitable items that were being provided. They noticed that there was plenty of charities out there that were helping with food, maybe books or school supplies, as well as toys. But what they really saw a gap in was that there wasn't anybody out there providing bedding for these people or for these young children. So they it started with one bed that they built in their garage, and they advertised on Facebook to see if anybody knew someone else who could use these beds and someone that was in need, and it just grew from there. Those founders were Luke and Heidi Mickelson. They're based out of over by the Magic Valley, mainly out of Twin Falls, but they have a chapter president here in Boise named Jordan Allen. I met all three of them, and they're all very generous, very nice people. So I really enjoyed getting to speak with them. So the build day, I was there for just under 3 hours. The room was filled with a lot of excitement as well as positive vibes. There was a fairly large turnout. I would say more than 30 volunteers showed up for it, and we were able to actually construct a dozen beds that day, which was the biggest build day that they've ever had. So the facility that you will see in the pictures was provided by ACHD, um, which was very generous of them. So as far as how this affected my ethics, my value system really helped me choose this project from the start because of how relatable it was to me. Um, it kind of stands behind my values of always taking care of children and giving them the best environment possible. During the build, I was overwhelmed with a sense of joy, but also with regret. I was feeling regret because I've allowed myself to become so involved in my own life that I haven't allowed myself enough time to try to build my own moral code by helping others in need. All in all, I felt a great sense of accomplishment as well as gratitude. I just hope to be able to make a little bit more time for projects like this. So this project actually fit really well with the book Our Kids. Um, it really addresses the issues of children being raised in poverty-stricken homes, as well as the growing socioeconomic gap in the United States. It kind of is able to help provide those children with a little bit less stress. And there's several studies out there that proved that these children that are living in poverty-stricken homes below poverty line live in a lot higher stress levels than children who are coming from more affluent families. So hopefully we can continue to help with this. So between the readings of our kids as well as this project, it really becomes apparent, especially in Boise, Idaho, as well as just our nation overall. But you can kind of see it by looking at the excuse me, beautiful homes that line Warm Springs Road. And not far from there are children that are living in homes with parents that struggle to make ends meet. Um, every volunteer there had just so much excitement as well as a special interest in trying to assist these children in our community. We all were there together and acting as a community with a common goal of trying to prevent any child from having to sleep on the floor in our community. The organizers did an excellent job in educating the volunteers that were there in the growing need for these beds. They work off of a referral basis, and they have had influx of requests recently for those that really need beds, whether it's from the people themselves or if it's from people that know families that are in need. And the volunteers or the organizers actually just wanted us to really spread the word as much as possible so that we can make sure we're doing what we can to help these children. Kind of what I've learned most from this project as well as this class is that there's a growing wage gap in our community, and that there are more and more people falling below the poverty line, not only in our city but in our country. I had an idea of difference, but I've become much more educated on the matter. I also learned that I can make a difference for some of this community. I was able to assist a charity organization by building these beds, and I made a difference in every one of those beds that children are currently sleeping on. I would want to ask others involved what drew them into the event. What other contributions do you make that I may be able to help with? And how can we bring more awareness to this issue? All in all, I felt like this was an excellent project and I really enjoyed it. And I look forward to helping more.